Well, welcome again to Fab After 50. Now, a few weeks ago, I actually shared with you my experience of using the Newa Skin tightening device, this one here, and I just promised you an update. So I just wanted to say that I finished the 4 weeks. If you can look at the full review, which we did last time. So for 4 weeks, I had to use it at least 5 times a week, and then after that, at least twice a week. I continued to use it, and I have to say I've been amazed at the overall improvements in my skin tone and also in softening of my crow's feet. Now, I did actually do a bit of research after using it last time, so I really noticed a difference after about 5 or 6 weeks of starting to use the device. I'd already noticed some difference on the way through, but it just seemed to continue to improve. And looking online and doing some research about regeneration of collagen, which is what this device is all designed to do, it seems that collagen does take about 6 weeks to regenerate. So it seems that in continuing to use this, your collagen is constantly replenishing itself. So I think it's an excellent purchase, and I've really enjoyed using it, and I'm going to continue to use it. In fact, I took it away with me when I was on holiday recently, and a friend I was with was so impressed that she's actually got one and she's using it now and she loves it too. So definitely a good recommendation for this. But what was interesting, obviously, when I did the demonstration, I applied the gel, the activator gel, to my face, and quite a few people came back to me to ask me how on earth I managed to keep my makeup on in place while I was using the gel. So obviously you wouldn't normally use a device like this with makeup on underneath, but because I was on camera, I did so. So what I thought I would do is share with you some of the products I used on that day, which probably did help to make a difference. So I applied my normal sort of moisturiser, etc. But under my makeup, what I used is a product by a new range I've discovered recently. Well, actually, I don't think it's that new to the market. I think it's going for a couple of years now, but it's new to me. And that's called Studio 10. And what I did was, I always like to use a primer anyway, but I actually used this primer, which is also a serum. So it's a serum and primer in one. And I have to say, it's fabulous. It really does help to tighten the pores. It minimises the crow's feet. And if you put it on, if you look at their own website, the Studio 10 website, they can show you befores and afters of people who have quite a lot of sag in the lines around the eyes, and you can see after 10-15 minutes the difference before and after. So anyway, I had to go with it. It's really hydrating. It's got argan oil in it, hyaluronic acid, so it really does help to firm and plump the skin. So as well as being a great basis for makeup, if you use it on a cumulative basis, it helps to reduce age spots. It's quite a nice sort of, I would say, like a waxy consistency. I don't know if you can see it on there. So under my makeup, I used that first. And then what I did was, also from the Studio 10 range, I used what they call their Skin Perfector palette. Now you can see mine's quite well used. So in the Skin Perfector palette, you've got the 2 shades of concealer, a green product to put around any redness. I tend to use mine just around my nose, and a primer. So you can use that, I tend to use it over my eyelids and my forehead and around my crow's feet, just to help sort of soften the lines, and also on my chin to minimise, I've got a few open pores there, just to minimise the pores on my chin. So I use that after using the primer. Then I just applied my very normal foundation. In this case, I really like this. I didn't realise until recently that Burberry actually did make it, but it's a very sheer foundation, and it really does help to reflect the light. And I think that after I've primed my skin with this one and the Perfector kit, that works really well. Then what I did for my eye makeup, which I just used my very old favourite, my Urban Decay Naked 2. Again, a very well worn eye palette, lots of neutral shades. And I topped up my eyes with a Guerlain eyeshadow. And I happen to like quite a smoky eye, and I always wear quite a lot of eyeliner. I know people say it's aging, but that's me, that's what I like to do. And for that I just use a Rimmel, actually it's getting a bit blunt now, a Rimmel eyeliner. And my all-time favourite mascara is my Lancome Hypnose Doll's Eyes Mascara, which I've been using for years. I've not yet found one I like any better, and I have to say that I've been sent loads to try. Every time I get a new one, I try to alternate them to find one I like better, but I always end up going back to this one and throwing my replacement ones away, so I stick with that. Now the other thing is, I guess as we get older we lose definition in our faces, and so I've also used from the Studio 10 range what they call their Visible Lift Face Definer palette, and that has the contouring powder, a really bright blusher, and also some highlighter. So again, with that, what I did for the last video, I used the contouring powder under my cheekbones, the pop of pink on the apples of my cheek, and the highlighter around here as well, and a little bit across the forehead. And I said it did stay right through the filming, so I was really pleased with that. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention with the eyes, I also used the Studio 10 pencils, which are double-ended. So I guess when you lose the definition in your eyebrows, the last thing you want to do is put so much black eyebrow product on, you look like Groucho Marx. This one is really subtle, it's a nice sort of fawny colour, and it comes double-ended, so you've got the highlighter on the other end of the pencil as well, which is really useful. I also like the fact that they have a line to show you which end is which, because I hate those double-ended pencils where I always take the wrong end off first. And then on to the lips, and for the lips, again I used a Studio 10 double-ended pencil, so you have quite a natural lip-coloured lip pencil to do the outline of your lips, and on the other end sort of a highlighter which you put just outside of the lip line, which makes, especially at the top by the cupid's bow, makes your lips look sort of slightly plumper, so it gives a sort of a much more useful effect. And then I just filled that in with my favourite Yves Saint Laurent lip colour. So anyway, that's how I did the makeup for that particular video. One of the things I would like to say though about Studio 10, if I did an interview with the founder having discovered their range, their products are in fact developed with a dermatologist, and they really think about the ingredients that don't just act as makeup in terms of camouflaging our skin, which I guess most of the time is what we do with makeup, but they actually enhance the skin. They have products, ingredients in them which are anti-inflammatory, which promote hydration, so definitely worth taking a look at the range. Because they produce the products with mature skins in mind, and I guess they have more pigment in them, because I guess as we do age, our skin needs more definition and a little bit more help. So what I do find is it stays on really well all day, especially using the primer ahead of time, and it doesn't tend to fade throughout the day, so you don't have to keep topping up your makeup. I mean, I can go out for a meeting in the morning, and literally by the evening, if I'm sort of still wanting to meet a friend for a drink or whatever, after a series of meetings in town, all I need to do is top up a little bit of blusher and a little bit of lipstick, and that's literally all you have to do, because the rest of it stays in place all day, which is one of the reasons why I really like this brand. So anyway, take a look at that. You can buy it in Marks & Spencer's, they have their own website, and also on QVC. So anyway, that's the Studio 10, and that's how my makeup stayed in place despite all of the lotions and potions I did in the Newa Lift demo in the last video.